Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another reading of the Bible. I attempted to do this morning, but I was losing connection to the internet this morning. So we're going to attempt this again. I want to read Job chapter 2 today. I read chapter 1 in May of this year. So now I need to catch up and read Job. And the reason why we're reading Job is two reasons. One, we got July now. And two, because I finished what did I finish? I finished Nehemiah, Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. So Job is next. So I'll go back on. Okay, here we go. Esther, Job. Okay. Chapter 2, here we go. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. Verse 2, and the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord, saying, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. The Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one who feareth God and escheweth evil? And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him, to destroy him without cause. Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now, touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. So Satan's testing God. The Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils, from the sole of his foot unto his crown, or the top of his head. He took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain, Job's wife, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. Well, that's not a very nice wife. Job said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did Job not, in all this did not Job sin with his lips. In all this Job did not sin with his lips. Now when Job's three friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him, they came every one from its own place. Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamatite, for they have made an appointment together to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. When they lifted up their eyes afar off and knew him not, they lifted up their voice and wept, and they rent every one his mantle, and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, a full week. And none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great. Okay. A couple of things I want to mention. First, the word Lord, every time the word Lord is mentioned, it is all in caps. And if you've been in church long enough, that is called the Tetragrammaton. Let me show you what I wanted to show you this morning. What I wanted to show you this morning is from Wikipedia. But hey, go back here. There we go. From Wikipedia, Jehovah, if you type in Jehovah here, it's called the Tetragrammaton. YHWH. What is that here? YHWH. And it is believed that this is God. Oh, here we go. YHWH. And this is believed to be the true name of God, Jehovah. Now, you can also type in Yahweh. And I think this is the way to go. Yahweh. And Yahweh, the name Yahweh also has its own page. And Yahweh, according to Wikipedia, was past tense, interesting, was an ancient Levantine deity. Levant, large area of Eastern Mediterranean region of West Asia. Okay, interesting. And national god of the Israelite kingdoms of Israel and Judah. Though no consensus exists regarding the deity's origins, scholars generally contend that Yahweh emerged as a divine warrior associated first with Seir, Edom, Paran, and Tamar, and later with Canaan, later Israel. The origins of its worship reach at least to the early Iron Age and likely to the late Bronze Age, if not somewhat earlier. Interesting. So is this Yahweh deity the God of the Bible? I don't think so. So you have to go to Jehovah. And Jehovah is present tense, the Latinization of the Hebrew Yehovah, one vocalization of the Tetragrammaton. YHWH is the proper name of the God of Israel in the Hebrew Bible or Old Testament. The Tetragrammaton is considered one of the 7 names of God in Judaism and a form of God's name in Christianity. Okay. So every time the word Lord in Job chapter 2, what I just read to you, it is possibly the Jehovah name. Possibly. I've heard it, and maybe you have heard it from Justin Peters. Justin Peters says that Jehovah is not the name for God. It is Yahweh. And also Chris Roseborough of Fighting for the Faith says the same thing, that Yahweh, not Jehovah, but Yahweh is the true name for God. But if you listen to Charles Lawson of Temple Baptist Church from the YouTube channel Zion 4131, Pastor Charles Lawson will say that the name of God is Jehovah. Which one's right? I don't know. I personally don't know. The Jews, I know this, that the Jews are not allowed to say the true name of God. It is too holy. I've heard that. So, but now here's a question before I read chapter 3. Who is speaking to Satan? Is it God the Father, if the Trinity is true? Or is it Jesus, the Son of God, or the second person in the Trinity? I really don't think it matters, but it is possible, very highly possible, that Jesus is speaking instead of the Father. Very possible, but not proven, because before we know Jesus as the man, the God man, he could be speaking on behalf of his Father, or the Father could be speaking on behalf of the Son. Either way, I really don't think it matters. I think it's irrelevant. But Just a little tidbit there for you guys. Now, chapter 3. Chapter 3 says, after this, opened Job his mouth after 7 days and 7 nights of complete silence by him and his 3 friends. Who in the world, unless you're completely deaf and mute, who in the world will want to sit down for a full-on week without saying a word? Who can do that? Anyone? Anyone? I can't do that. I tried to do that, but it's not going to happen unless you put me in like a solitary confinement in a prison or somewhere. No. But Job and his 3 friends sat on the ground. Job, suffering these ailments, boiled all over his body by the hand of Satan himself, with the permission of God, grieving, his wife saying, curse God and die in chapter 2. He sits on his butt with ashes and boils, not saying one word. And his friends not saying one word. Imagine that. Just imagine it for yourself. Chapter 3, verse 1. After this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. Curse his day, not his Lord. Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived. Let that day be darkness, let not God regard it from above, neither let the light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Lo, let the night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. Let them curse it that curse the day, who are ready to raise up their mourning, their sorrow. Let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Let me unshare here. Here we go. Let it have none. Let it have none. Neither let it see the dawning of the day. Because it shut not up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from mine eyes. Why died I not? Why did I not die from the womb or in the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? You can do that by yourself as a baby. Why did the knees prevent me? Or why the breasts that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest. With kings and counselors of the earth who built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as a hidden, untimely birth had I not been, as infants who never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling. The wicked shall cease from troubling. That's a song. And there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul, who long for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than for hid treasures, who rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they can find the grave. Why is light given to a man whose way is hidden, and whom God hath hedged in. For my sighing cometh before I eat, and my roarings are poured out like the waters. For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me. I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet. Yet trouble cometh. Chapter 4. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If we essay to commune with thee, wilt thou be grieved? But who can withhold himself from speaking? Behold, thou hast instructed many, and thou hast strengthened the weak hands. Thy words have upholden him who was fallen, and thou hast strengthened the feeble knees. But now it is come upon thee, and thou faintest. It toucheth thee, and thou art troubled. Is not this thy fear, thy confidence, thy hope, and the uprightness of thy ways? Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen they who plow iniquity, and sow wickedness reap the same. By the blast of God they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. The roaring of the lion, and the voice of the fierce lion, the teeth of the young lions are broken. The old lion perisheth for lack of prey, and the stout lion's whelps are scattered abroad. The cubs. Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and mine ear received a little thereof. In thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men. Fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Then a spirit passed before my face, the hair of my flesh stood up. It stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof. An image was before mine eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying, Shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? The answer is no. Behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with falling. How much less in them who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth. They are destroyed from morning to evening. They perish forever without any regard. Doth not their excellency, which is in them, go away? They die, even without wisdom. Chapter 5. Call now, if there be any that will answer thee. And to which of the saints wilt thou turn? For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one. I have seen the foolish taking root, but suddenly I curse his habitation. His children are far from safety, and they are crushed in the gate. Neither is there any to deliver them, whose harvest the hungry eateth up, and taketh it even out of the thorns, and the robber swalloweth up their substance. Although affliction cometh not forth of the dust, neither doth trouble spring out of the ground. Yet man is born unto trouble, as the sparks fly upward. I would seek unto God, and unto God would I commit my cause, who doeth great things, and unsearchable marvelous things without number, who giveth rain upon the earth, and sendeth waters upon fields, to set up on high those who are low, that those who mourn may be exalted to safety. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. They meet in darkness in the daytime, and grope in the noonday as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. So the poor hath hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. For he maketh sore, and bindeth up. He woundeth, and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with it. Thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation, and shalt not sin. Thou shalt also know that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring is as the grass of the earth. Thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like a shock of corn cometh in its season. Lo, this we have searched it, so it is. Hear it, and know it, and know thou it for that good. Chapter 6. Job answered and said, Oh, that my grief were thoroughly weighed, and my calamity laid in the balances together. For now I would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words are swallowed up. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me, the poison whereof drinketh up my spirit. The terrors of God do set themselves in array against me. Doth the wild donkey bray when he hath grass, or loweth the ox over his fodder? Can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? The things that my soul refused to touch are as my sorrowful meat. Oh, that I might have my request, and that God will grant me the thing that I long for. Even that I would please God. It would please God to destroy me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off. Then should I yet have comfort. Yea, I would harden myself in sorrow. Let him not spare, for I have not concealed the words of the Holy One. What is my strength? What is excuse me. Verse 11. What is my strength that I should hope? And what is mine end that I should prolong my life? Is my strength the strength of stone, or is my flesh of brass? Is not my help in me, and his wisdom driven quite from me? To him who is afflicted, pity should be showed from his friend, but he forsaketh the fear of the Almighty. My brethren have dwelt deceitfully as a brook, and as a stream of brooks they pass away. Who are blackish by reason of the ice, and wherein the snow is hid. Oh, the brooks which are blackish by reason of the ice, and wherein the snow is hid. What time they wax warm, they vanish. When it is hot, they are consumed out of their place. The paths of their ways are turned aside, and they go to nothing and perish. The troops of Tamar looked, the companies of Sheba waited for them. They are confounded because they had hoped. They came thither and were ashamed. For now ye are nothing. Ye see my casting down and are afraid. Did I say, bring unto me, or give me a reward? Give a reward for me of your substance, or deliver me from the enemy's hand, or redeem me from the hand of the mighty. Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand wherein I have erred. How forcible are right words, or what doth your arguing reprove? Do ye imagine to reprove words, and the speeches of one who is desperate, which are as wind? Yea, ye overwhelm the fatherless, and ye dig a pit for your friend. Now therefore be content, look upon me, for if it is evident unto you if I lie. Return, I pray you, let it not be iniquity. Yea, return again, my righteousness is in it. Is there iniquity in my tongue? Cannot my taste discern perverse things? Chapter 7. Is not there an appointed time for man upon earth? Are not his days also like the days of hiring? As a servant earnestly desireth a shadow, and as a hireling looketh for the reward of his work, so am I made to possess months of vanity, and wearisome nights are appointed. When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise? And the night be gone, and I am full of tossings to and fro until the dawning of the day. My flesh is clothed with worms and clods of dust. My skin is broken and become loathsome. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle. Interesting, the word shuttle there. And are spent without hope. Oh, remember that my life is wind. Mine eyes shall no more see good. The eye of him who hath seen me shall see me no more. Thine eyes are upon me, and I am not. As the cloud is consumed and vanisheth away, so he who goeth down to the grave shall come up no more. He shall return no more to his house, neither shall his place know him any more. Therefore I will not refrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I a sea or whale that thou settest a watch over me? When I say my bed shall comfort me, my couch shall ease my complaint. Then thou scarest me with dreams, and terrifieth me through visions, so that my soul chooseth strangling and death rather than my life. I loathe it. It will not live always. Let me alone, for my days are vanity. What is man that thou shouldest magnify, or that thou shouldest set thine heart upon, that thou shouldest visit him every morning and try him every moment? How long wilt thou not depart from me, nor let me alone till I swallow down my spittle? I have sinned. What shall I do unto thee, O thou preserver of men? Why hast thou set me as a mark against thee, so that I am a burden to myself? Why dost thou not pardon my transgression and take away mine iniquity? For now shall I sleep in the dust, and thou shalt seek me in the morning, but I shall not be. So that is chapters 2 through 7 of Job. I hope you enjoyed it.